What's it like living in Hawkins when you're not one of the chosen ones? And spoiler alert, it's not great. Now, from a psychological and mythological lens, Hawkins in Stranger Things isn't some small, quirky town with a monster problem. It itself is a sacrifice zone, not for heroes, but for everybody, literally. Now, Hawkins itself exists as a liminal town. It's kind of in this permanent in-between state. It's not rural enough to be untouched. It's not urban enough to be protected. Not important enough to be saved, but not unimportant enough to be abandoned. So it sits at this threshold, a place where reality thins, where boundaries weaken, where things pass through. And in folklore, these were villages that were near forests, crossroads, caves, or ruins. Hawkins just happened to sit near a government hole punched through reality. Now, for the regular person, all this manifests itself as constant unease with no clear source. They don't know why this is going on. A sense that things go wrong here, but you can never really explain why. You've got background anxiety that just becomes normalized. You don't panic. You just adapt to it, which in a lot of ways for your mental state is actually worse. Now, the psychological weather of Hawkins is most of the people in Hawkins are not traumatized once, right? They are slowly conditioned. So think about what the normal adult experience is. Like kids just disappear, there's fires, accidents, chemical leaks, the mall blew up, military lockdowns, the whole town gets evacuated, officials explain things that never really add up, but none of it is ever framed as being supernatural. So psychologically, Hawkins residents live in this cognitive dissonance zone, right? Chronically. Everything feels wrong, but everybody's telling you that it's normal. So over time, your brain starts to choose survival over truth. So you just stop asking questions. You stop trusting your intuition, and you just start minimizing loss. This is what it is. This is how a town becomes emotionally numb with never even realizing it. Now, Hawkins itself is kind of this devouring parent, right? It functions as this devouring mother archetype. It feeds on children with disappearances, deaths, and psychological damage just like on a whole new level, man. The youth, well, they lose their futures. They have stunted dreams. The adults live in denial, resignation, and just flat out bitterness. We remember the Wheelers, Pops. People don't leave because they're kind of broken, they're kind of loyal, they're definitely scared, and they don't even think about leaving. The town doesn't trap you with walls, it traps you with inertia. So you kind of feel like nothing works out for me, or this is just how life is. And that is literally what the spell of Hawkins is. Now, the kids themselves were initiated. They were allowed to see the truth. So everyone else lives with this like emotional residue of horror. Like none of the narration means anything to them. They don't have any agency. And from that standpoint in myth, man, it's brutal because these guys don't get a quest. They don't get a revelation. They don't get no victories. All they get is the shockwaves and the aftermath. And normal Hawkins residents, they don't fight monsters. They go to funerals. They end up rebuilding the stores. They adjust their routes. Like they keep telling themselves that it's going to be quieter next year. And then it ain't. It never is. So the cruelest thing about Hawkins is that honestly, it looks safe. This is what we're told safe looks like. White picket fences, right? Football games, family dinners, school dances. Like in mythology, that all signs like evil doesn't like live here, but except it does, it blends in. So Hawkins is not haunted in like the typical gothic sense. It's been colonized by secrecy, by suppression, by lies that are told for your own good. And the regular people feel this pressure constantly, even when they don't know what's going on. That's probably the worst part. So the way Hawkins breaks down is that the people never get a chance to heal. They get abandoned, they get destroyed, or they get transformed. And season by season, Hawkins fractures cause more denial compounds. Reality pushes back. Truth demands a reckoning. The heroes survive, but they don't know how to confront the shadows. Everybody else just kind of lives in it. Like Hawkins is not a setting, it's a warning. When a place is built on secrecy, the people, they pay the price, whether they know about it or not. And that's what's going on in Hawkins. Like it's a lot going on. It seems like a nice place. I hope now that all this is wrapped up, it turns out to be that. But I don't know. We'll see. But Hawkins definitely doesn't have a good history.